Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Old Streams Farm, where today we are working on compost. We have quite a lot in the bin here. 32,000 litres basically. Well, 31,300 litres. And we need to spread this on our fields as quickly as we can, because we do still have to plough them up. We're just going to load the farm tech up with 8,000 litres, and I have heard that this compost goes a long way, so we'll find out exactly how long away it goes very soon indeed. This little JCB telehandler is a fantastic loading vehicle, especially for the likes of compost and manure, because it's just big enough for the to get over the lip of the manure trailer. How much we got now? 27,333. Wonderful. Maybe 25,333 there. You can see that we got quite the a pile of compost in our trailer. Turn off the JCB, hop into the Fent, which I believe, there we go. And yeah, let's head over to... I think I want to focus on the fields over at the main yard, but I do remember that I left a bit of one of the grass fields unmucked. Completely forgot to finish it off, and I did do another field while the camera wasn't rolling, just to get rid of the rest of the muck. It was actually the field that was holding the muck that I was using as a holding field. Decided that it was only fair that field got the manure, and there's the area there that we need to just throw some compost on. I'm pretty sure one of the townspeople just sneezed. So let's get this unfolded and spreading. And hopefully we're doing a good job here. Let's just check. We are in fact doing a good job. You can see the compost laying down. I think it is laying down black. I actually want to check if the compost is laying down its own little color layer. Oh, it is! I think. Not 100% sure, but it might be. I'll be able to find out in a field that has nothing on it just yet. So, drone view for a moment while we just spread some compost out. It's either spreading basically a fine mist of it, and we only used 10 litres of compost there. The Compost Master makes incredibly good compost. So we should have enough to actually cover a small country, never mind a few fields. We have had an offer on the farm as well from Blackout Gaming. He offered, or she, I'm not going to judge, £900,000 for the Old Streams farm, which would be in theory enough. Oh, it's just laying down. Okay, thought it was laying down a little colour layer. It's not. That's a bit of a shame. I may have a look into how that's done by the manure spreaders, because it'd be quite nice if it laid down a compost coloured layer. And out of character, I am fully aware that the Compost Master is incredibly cheaty. The way that it lays down compost is basically, hey, look, you've got all of the compost ever. Congratulations. You are a winner. Yeah, this is, you know, I've used maybe 60 litres already, and this is quite a lot of field that I've covered. So I'm fully aware that this is incredibly broken, but I don't particularly care. Now Sergey has gone to check out the new farm that we're interested in buying. We're still in negotiations. Sergey's over there checking that out for us. He has been sending me pictures. It looks quite nice. There's a lovely little industrial area that he's been looking at today. Has a compost master and a few different things in there that look interesting. As I said in the last video, which went up yesterday, the farm only has grass fields. Now it has quite a few. It seems to own all the grass fields within a quite significant area. But there is no, by the looks of it, no field set aside for arable work, which is a bit of a shame. I'm actually going to go up to the other end of this field and just lay down kind of headland area. There are no fields that seem to be left out for arable work, so we will, and I've seen the machinery the farm has, it's all grass machinery. So it's going to be a challenge getting set up there, but we should be able to do it. The one thing that I do like is they have a big M. They have a Corona Big M, which means we can get a lot of mowing done really quickly in that farm. Downside is we won't be able to do any harvesting as such. We'll be able to, you know, mow grass and make silage bales, because I can probably stretch for a loan if needed to cover any extra costs. But I would still like to get a bit of overheads here, a bit of extra money. I do have a plan to get that once the fields are done, if I have time. Because this is all on a very big time limit now. We've basically been told we're leaving. Well, we're basically we're buying the farm in the UK. That's, you know, that's non-negotiable. We're buying it, and that's our time limit. The question is, how long is that time limit? I don't know. It'll come down to once the terms are agreed. And as soon as they are, and as soon as David, the current owner, moves out, makes it available for us, we will be heading off with the Profi Hopper and the what will we actually be bringing with us? We'll bring the Profi Hopper, which seems a bit useless, but we will be bringing it. We'll be bringing the low loader trailer, and we'll bring the Land Rover. Although I am considering changing the Land Rover out for something else, possibly a Toyota Hilux. It might be. I know that I've just got the Land Rover completely renovated, but I don't know. It's a long way to the UK, and it's going to be a long drive. So maybe a more comfortable vehicle than a Land Rover might be in order. And something like a Hilux would be nice. But I've heard there's some quite nice machinery on this British farm. And the dealers in the area have some good offers on arable. No, is it arable I'm looking for? Yes, arable machinery. Because they... You know, there's a few arable guys in the area, but a lot of the fields are just kind of gone to waste. The dealers have heard we're coming, and they're kind of excited because they have heard through Sergey. Don't know how Sergey managed to communicate this to them, but they have heard we do want to move into arable farming as soon as we possibly can. It probably won't be the first year, but hopefully not long after. Sergey has also been doing a bit of a tour of the local, well, the neighbours over in that area, telling them we'll be making silage bales, square silage bales to be precise, because the current mulch operation has square balers, well, a square baler I should say, We'll be making silage bales with that machinery. All we really need to do is buy a square bale wrapper, and from what I hear, they're selling over there for £54,000. And that should be us good in theory. Now, Sergey has somehow managed to get a really good price of £1,500 per bale. Somehow. Which means that if we can produce a couple of hundred bales, we'll have enough for a combine. But we need more than just a combine. We're going to need a full arable setup sorted. Because the mulch hay business, the way he does it, is he just lets the grass grow, he cuts it, and bada bing bada boom, you got your mulch hay. We're going to need a bit more than that. We're going to need plows and seeders and cultivators and sprayers and fertilizers, and because I'd like to go into livestock too, we're going to need an animal trailer, a water trailer, and all of that sort of stuff, and that doesn't come cheap. That's not going to come cheap, and that's going to be a fun one to try and figure out. As I think we've got this field very nearly done, if not done. It is done. Fantabulous. Means we just need to head up over here, and we can start on this grass field here with our 96% of the trailer left. I did say it was a bit cheaty. I just realised that there we go. I did say it was a bit cheaty, this compost master. Didn't quite say how cheaty it is. Yes, this is incredibly broken. That's why I like it so much. It's free fertilizer forever. I will have a look into seeing how I can get it to actually shoot out the back of a manure spreader like manure. But I can't make any promises that I can actually do that. Yeah, that... I do apologize for the horrifically broken compost, but that's kind of why I wanted it, was... I wanted to get a really, really super hyper cheap way of getting fertilization done. And the compost master is so horrifically broken that it's effectively free. I mean, it's not even... Even the fuel costs are being offset by how quickly this thing... You know, how much it produces and how far it goes. Even the costs of, you know, that full tanker of fuel, that was quite a bit of money. That's being offset by the fact that this thing just doesn't stop fertilizing. Go up this way because it's going to upset the OCD people, and I like that. This Fendt, I really kind of wish I could bring it over, but I have heard that they have a Fendt 900 in the farm we're headed to. And out of character, yes, I will be customizing everything about the map that we'll be going to. I believe Mr. Simulate is planning an edit and has... You guys can guess what map it is, and I won't be saying, but I will say that yes, it is the map that you probably think. It is the one that is coming out soon, that is currently being tested, and that pretty much everybody's going to be playing on. I will be playing on it for the roleplay, and I'll be using it as a challenge map, basically. Because where's the fun in playing it normally when you can set the map up to be intentionally difficult? And I will be using the hard difficulty level on Farm Sim as well. So that should be interesting. I will be using seasons on top of that. Just to get every possible level of difficulty in there. The only thing I won't be doing in terms of difficulties, I won't be turning on 3-step fertilization, because that's still quite broken in seasons, unfortunately. It would result in me just having to preload the fields with fertilizer, which, yeah, some people do, especially for corn. But I don't know, I'd like to be able to spray crops, and that's not something I can do at the moment. So yeah, I will be bringing in new mods and new shiny things into that series over time. And of course Sergey will be coming with me, and he'll probably want some crazy Russian stuff. Because it is Sergey. Wouldn't be surprised if he already has something crazy in Russian waiting over there for me. You know, that really wouldn't surprise me if he has something really just completely inappropriate for what we want to do. In fact, I would almost expect it. But there will be a kind of a minor delay between the map. Well, there shouldn't be a delay between the map coming out and me playing on it, but all streams will suddenly stop. So there will come a point, and this is out of character, by the way, obviously. There will come a point when old streams, I say I'll do something in the next episode, and there is no next episode. Because once the new map drops, I'm going to be jumping on it that weekend to record. And I will be referencing old streams, but it will just disappear off the channel. I'll be moving straight over. I'm kind of glad that the way that the maps drop is on a Friday, because that gives me a couple of days to set the map up. Because as a fun little fact, it takes me about 2 hours to set a map up for videos. Which is why I never ever stream a map the day that I get it. Because it's just like 2 hours of me sat here driving stuff around. Putting it into the place that I want it, and then maybe moving it twice because it could be over here as well. Then I completely wreck it by just abandoning equipment everywhere in the Let's Plays. Which I need to really get on top of in the near future. Is I need to start doing tidying episodes again. And yard work. Have I fertilized this entire field now? Nope. Here's the bit that's not fertilized. There we go. And I don't think we got many fields left to do. Well, just that field. I'm gonna run over it real quick and just see what happens, but I don't think it needs fertilization all that much. I'm just gonna keep the compost spreader on because it doesn't matter. Oh, it does. Well then, let's do this field. Yeah, that is laying down compost. It's a bit of a shame that it doesn't lay down a like a little layer of black manure. That'd be pretty sweet. That's something that the compost mod is missing. But it is definitely a nice alternative to... it's, I guess, still organic because there's no chemicals involved. Other than obviously natural chemicals. So you can't really complain about me using this. Yes, it's cheaty, but it's using all natural equipment. This is organic farming at its finest. And by the way, if you're wondering how I got so much manure so quickly, I didn't code it into the game. I didn't use a purchased manure mod. I created a mod that now can create as much manure as I want. And I'm going to keep it a secret how I did that. I've told a couple of people. Told some people that I gave it to for the purposes of creating silly amounts of manure really quickly. And they know how it works. They know how I did it. They know what I did. They can make it even cheatier if they want. And it will just be a case of when I use it, manure will magically appear. I'll use it off camera for 5 or 10 minutes, get enough manure to do a field or two, and off we go. And it is that quick. Now, what I do need to do today... Well, there's nothing really need to do today, actually, is there? What I would like, though, is... And this might be something that I can edit into the map. Because I don't plan on playing on all streams for much longer, but I do hope to get a couple of things fiddled in. One thing I'd like to fiddle in is a compost sell point, so I'll need to have a look at the fill type that's generated by the compost master and got it into one of the sell points. Because I would like to be able to sell me the compost. I'll probably do the same thing on the next map, because I do plan on having a compost master there. It's just another way of using mods. This is the way I like to play the game, is finding, if I can, different ways of using the same mod. And not many people use the compost master because it is very, very cheaty and broken. I like using this because my entire thing is I like using free fertilizer, and this compost master is infinitely free fertilizer. Like, in this video of 20 minutes so far, we've used 10% of a manure spreader. 10% of the compost we put into this in the first place. And we've had it running most of the time. I could run around an entire map, probably, and never ever empty this thing. Which, yeah, some of you will say I'm cheating. I've broken the game, but I could just say I'm putting down a very fine mist of compost. I'm just as right as you are. There we go. Because you can set this thing up so the walking floor is really slow. And that's the way that I'm doing this in storyline, is, you know, to keep it legit. I'm running that walking floor really slowly, so the beaters at the back, they're basically just taking a very small amount every single time. You can't quite see it, but I do have them running. The beaters at the back are running 3 or 4 times as quickly as they usually do for manure. The walking floor is running about a quarter as fast as it usually does. So those beaters, they are just misting it. They're turning it into a fine mist and just basically meaning that I don't need to use as much of it, because I don't plan on coming back here. I don't plan on using these fields. All I was told was he wants the the new owner wants the field fertilized, or, well, the estate agents wants the field fertilized and ploughed. They didn't say how fertilized they had to be. So I'm kind of giving them a bum deal by putting as little fertilizer as possible on. Because, hey, it's not going to affect me. They can check the fields, they can see they're fertilized. They can, the townspeople will verify that I have been out with a muck spreader putting compost down on these fields. They don't know what putting compost down should look like, because this is the first time it's ever happened. All they know is there's compost going down. Or something. This black stuff. They'll see me driving to the compost. They saw me driving to the compost master earlier. And suddenly I came out with the trailer full of this black stuff, which is compost. And now they're seeing me drive around this field. And that field over there, and the grass field, spreading this weird new black stuff, which is, it's compost. There's no smell of it. Actually, there was manure in this trailer not too long ago. There probably is a smell of it. But they how are they to know I'm not putting much down? They've never seen a farmer do this before. The last guy just loved his pellet fertilizer. He was a very chemical heavy farmer. I prefer doing things organically if I can. And not this posh, I'll spend 4 times as much to get something that just says organic on the label. Kind of organic. I'll use natural materials where possible, but heck, if something needs weed killer on it, I'm gonna spray Roundup. If something needs Roundup, I'll use Roundup. It's the fertilizer that I want to be natural, because that's, well, it costs less, doesn't it? Spreading compost, I was running that compost master. I can, whatever's left, I can sell it. The manure, that was kind of just given to me because, hey, the guy had cows, he just has grass fields, they're all done. That's why there's very little manure actually given over to me. You know, he doesn't need all the manure he got. He sent some my way. I ain't gonna complain. Apparently he used to do that with the last guy and the manure just went to waste. Also, apparently the last guy didn't actually have cows, so where the manure in the yard came from, I don't know. Probably because there was a small amount, not much, but a small amount. And I'm wondering if it might not have been animal manure. I'm wondering if the last guy to run this farm was a bit less than hygienic. Because the toilet, I will say, was... when I arrived here at first, was, shall we say suspiciously clean? As in, it was a very old-looking toilet, but it was a very clean, old-looking toilet. Anyway, I'm going to call that a video here, guys. I will leave you by saying, I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on the Old Streams Farm. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button below, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, stay safe, and goodbye.